Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome back to the Texans franchise as we're trying to close out this season and get into the off season. Finally, this has been dragging on for way too long. We need to get up to season 3 and I'm really excited about just finishing this season overall. We are one episode away. This is the last 3 games and we have a problem along the offensive line. Like this tackle situation is awful, and we just lost Laramie Tunsil to injury. He's done for the season, and so our left tackle spot is not looking good. We also have a right tackle in Andre Dillard that has not shown he is starting material this season, and so we are gonna go and replace both of those spots in the offseason. But for now, I don't blame Davis Mills for taking too many sacks. I mean, like, if he had some more speed, that obviously would help, but like pockets are collapsing way too quickly. And well, the first game today is going to be against the Jaguars, quarterbacked by Trevor Lawrence with great skills all around, very well-rounded. They have injuries to their 2 lead running backs, which means that Snoop Connor is going to be the starter, who is just basically a diet version of James Robinson. At receiver, they have Christian Kirk, and he still is on the massive deal that was way too much money. They also have Laviska Shenault, looking really good there. Not the fastest guy in the world, but he can break some tackles, that's for sure. And other than that, their third receiver is Zay Jones. Just a regular kind of slot guy with some weaknesses at route running, I guess. And then they have Evan Ingram with really good speed for a tight end, some really great catching ratings. Not a good blocker, though. For the offensive line situation, they look pretty solid. They drafted a right tackle in TJ Rayburn. His strength is really bad, but he's a great pass protector and shows that he can do that. Not as great of a run blocker, though, but if you have an offense with Trevor Lawrence, you need a good pass blocker anyway, so yeah. They drafted Darren Thomas last offseason. Looks pretty good. Really exciting edge rusher. Then the number 1 pick from a couple years ago, Trayvon Walker, still explosive. They also have Josh Allen, looking really sharp. Great finesse moves, not as good in the or against the run. And then at corner, just a couple older guys here in Shaq Griffin, but still a great athlete, this guy. And overall, I think the secondary doesn't look all that exciting. Darius Williams. I mean, the corner duo looks kind of okay, I guess. But if you're facing Brandon Cooks and Justin Ross and how they have produced lately, that is just painting a different picture there. And the safety duo, they have Andre Sisco, and I think they still have Rayshon Jenkins. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter anyway. The secondary, nothing special. The edge rushers are what you are most concerned with. Especially talking about that tackle situations the Texans are in right now. But if you want to beat this Jaguars team, you're going to have to stop Trevor Lawrence somehow. And, well, Snoop Connor is a 69 overall running back or something, or 67, I'm not sure. And so I think there is a way to beat this team. The offensive line is solid, but if you have, like, a good game on defense, if you lock down these receivers, I think you can produce some coverage sacks. And that's how you want to beat them. And we're going to start the day off with the Texans offense. Davis Mills takes the field next to Dameon Pierce and a weakened offensive line. Let's see how this is going to go. First play of the game is a handoff to Dameon Pierce, and that's a nice one. Nice rushing lane there up the middle, 13 yards, moving the chains in the process. Now a new first down. Davis Mills has a pass to the outside, and that is caught. Nice first down. That's about like 16 yards to AJ Lincoln, who is, by the way, the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now a slant to the outside. Justin Ross turns upfield, 17 yards, continues the drive into field goal range. 3rd and 4. Davis Mills, 4-man pressure. You need to get it away, and he does, but that was kind of a weird play. Everything was covered up. If he would have waited a little longer, I think he could have dropped it like over the head of the linebacker into Dameon Pierce's bucket, but didn't have the patience. Was a little bit too worried about the edge rush, I guess. And so that's going to be a field goal for the Texans. Moving on, the Jaguars offense. And they start with a handoff to Snoop Connor, and he's got the first down. That's also a nice gain here for 12 yards. Moving the chains, 3rd and 10 now. Trevor Lawrence under pressure, and he throws it away, resulting in a punt and a second drive for the Texans offense, starting the game at 3-0 right then and there. Jaguars, by the way, are in the playoff hunt right now. And well, there's a free rusher up the middle. That's Chad Muma, the linebacker, on 3rd down, ending the drive right there. Nobody accounted for him. Somehow Kenyon Green thought it was better to just stand around and do nothing, giving Muma a free run at the quarterback. Punt back to the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is standing tall in the pocket and delivering on the outside, and that's a nice catch. That's James Phillips, a rookie receiver, looking pretty solid. I think he was like a 3rd or 4th round pick. And they are moving the chains again here. That was a beautiful toe drag there at the sideline. But if he had led his receiver kind of in the back, or like threw it behind his receiver, then he maybe would have had a chance to turn it upfield. And as Trevor Lawrence just throws the football away, they are going to go with a fake field goal, and it does not get the first down. It's a turnover on downs, and Evan Ingram can't convert the 4th down. Texans take over, still 3-0, and Pierce to the outside. Great lane, running over one guy. Great execution there. 17 yards to Pierce. 2nd and 5. It's a double twin set, and this is AJ Lincoln on the corner route, beautifully executed. I think that was covered too by the Jaguars, and Lincoln gets a first down there. 3rd and 5. Davis Mills hands it off to Pierce up the middle, breaks a tackle, 10 yards. Now down to the 1-yard line. The Texans are knocking on the door. 1st and 10. Davis Mills, pressure coming in. Dameon Pierce with the key chip block. It's a touchdown, but there is a flag down. Justin Ross was open in the end zone. Pierce had a beautiful chip block there. But it's going to be a holding on the offense, and it's going to be against the center, Eric McCoy. 1st and goal from the 11 now. Davis Mills is targeting Brandon Cooks here, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown Texans, and Brandon Cooks has one. Crossing over the middle there, and then just falling ahead across the plane. And it's a 10-0 game for the Texans. Jaguars starting with a close bunch to the left, and this is a beautiful throw to the sideline, and that's Christian Kirk. Nice toe drag. Kind of unbelievable that he actually hauled that in. But nice pocket also for Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful there by Christian Kirk. 3rd and 11. Trevor Lawrence has double slants from the left. Takes the slot. And that's a first down, 11 yards. Again, it is Christian Kirk. 1st and 10. Handoff to Snoop Connor. And there is an opening, and he's taken down by Eric Murray with a 14-yard run. You need to start stopping the run if you want to win this game. Third and 7 now for Lawrence, and he's gonna throw it to the sideline and out of bounds. It's James Phillips, can't hang on. Alex Day in the area too. So that's gonna be a 54-yard field goal try. Are they gonna fake it another time? No, they are not today, and this is no good to the right. And the Texans are taking over on offense with great field position as Dameon Pierce heads out and breaks one tackle, gets 11 yards, and is at 7.1 yards a carry. So this rushing attack is going. First and 10, Davis Mills has an open man, and that is Brevin Jordan, and he's taken down from behind. That's 29 yards on the reception. Actually 31 yards, I'm sorry. 31 yards on the corner route, perfectly executed by Brevin Jordan. And over the middle, this is Justin Ross into the end zone. Touchdown, Texans. And that is now a 3-score lead. And the Jaguars just lost Darren Thomas, their first-round pick, to an injury. They moved the chains in the process, though. That's a dump off to his running. That's actually not a running back. 88. Who's that? Is that? No, that's not Evan Ingram. But there he is, targeted again, and that's a first down. And number 88 is, I have no idea. Harmon something? A Harmon guy. I don't know. First and 10, Trevor Lawrence across the middle. And he's targeting Harmon once again. First down, Jaguars. Into the red zone now. Jaguars moving quickly on this drive. Can they finally get into the end zone as they target James Phillips this time? And it's a first down catch. Getting inside the 5, taken down at like the 4. First and goal, Trevor Lawrence, and that's easy pitch and catch on the slant to James Phillips into the end zone. Touchdown, Jaguars. And they are finally on the board, making this a 10-point game. And now the Texans have a couple of minutes left in this half. We're inside the 2-minute warning. Davis Mills is taken down, and he lost the football, although the Texans are going to keep it. I think that's Eric McCoy who fell on the ball. Second and 15. Mills is on the money on the outside. That's 17 yards to A.J. Lincoln, and he moves the chains, gets out of bounds, saves some time. And the Texans are moving the sticks here. First down after this beautiful toe drag there by A.J. Lincoln. First and 10, Davis Mills has a one-on-one matchup on the outside, and Justin Ross hauls it in. That is a first down the field, and by the way, I completely missed that. The Texans lost the extra point, or missed the extra point rather. So that didn't work out. But one-on-one down the field, Justin Ross, and he can't haul it in. 3rd and 5, it's incomplete. They are going to take the field goal. It's a 12-point game now. 3rd and inches from Trevor Lawrence, as he has great field position from the middle of the field. Throws a Hail Mary, and it is incomplete. 4th down, and the half is over. We're done with the first half in this game. But yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars need to start putting points on the board. They had a missed field goal. They had a fake field goal that resulted in a turnover on downs. And if you take those two into the equation, it's a 1-score game. But it's not. And so the Texans looking really solid right now. We're looking at other games around the league. The Colts are probably the team to beat here. They are out in front, and the Jacksonville Jaguars kind of have to win to still have a chance there at knocking them off, because there are 3 games down and there is only 3 games left. So yeah, the Texans can spoil that, and this is a good start. Chris Portillo with a sack on 3rd down after they slowly drove down the field, having like 3 and 5 yard runs and short passes. And Chris Portillo showing off the pass rush skills. And sadly, he had to split that sack with Epinesa on the stat sheet, which is ridiculous because Portillo did all the work. And he took down the quarterback. I don't know why Epinesa even got a sack there. And so that also results in a missed field goal because that was kind of a long one. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are still stuck at 7 points. 3rd and 5 for Jacksonville now after a 3-and-out by the Texans. And this is also going to be a 3-and-out. So stifling defense played here in this 3rd quarter. No points allowed till this point, as Marcus Davenport is shaken up and leaves the game. 1st and 10 now. 2 running backs in the backfield, and Mills has another one-on-one downfield, and Ross hauls it in. 1st down Texans, and that's 33 yards to the outside. Big body wide receiver, and they are moving the chains again, and now in field goal range. They are trying to maybe make this a 3-score game now, because this is a 12-point game, but you can turn it into a 19-point game if you convert this one into a touchdown. Handoff, 2nd and 6. Pierce lost the football, and the Jacksonville Jaguars recover. Wow, that is a key turnover in this game. Jaguars take over after Dameon Pierce fumbles the football away, and now wide open. This is Laviska Shenault, and he was not covered by Desmond King at all. Wide open there, and that's a 1st down for the Jaguars. Now 3rd and 6, close to midfield. They're going to have a play action, and they are going to take a shot down the field, and it is hauled in. That is Luke Farrell, the backup tight end, and he's got the 1st down at the sideline. And moving into field goal range now, Trevor Lawrence, 1st and 10, over the middle, wide open, and this is Laviska Shenault again, 21 yards. Jacksonville Jaguars moving the football again. Can they finally put some more points on the board, or are they gonna somehow miss it again? Now this is a catch down to the 1-yard line. It's not a touchdown yet. They're going to hand it off to Snoop Connor, and nowhere to go on 3rd and goal. And that's a 4th down from the 1. Are you going to go for it now? You kind of need to go for it. And they don't. They take the field goal. It's still a 9-point game, so that didn't help them anything as Dameon Pierce shoves away Chad Muma. Beautifully done. And converts into a 1st down. Now 3rd and 10, a couple plays later. And Mills again is sacked. It's Chad Muma, who just got stiff-armed out of the way, but he retaliates. And this is a punt. And Snoop Connor somehow hauls this in against one of the best slot corners in the league there, in Desmond King. 1st down from the 50. Trevor Lawrence, play action shot. And he has a man open, and that is actually not all that open. But it's Laviska Shenault, and the big-bodied receiver makes the grab, gets the 1st down, 23 yards, and they slowly move into the red zone, and they are capping it off with a touchdown. And that's Giovanni Ricci, the fullback. Beautifully done by the Jaguars, and now it's a 2-point game. Can you finally put some more points on the board if you're the Texans? As, wow, another fumble. What are you doing, man? This is unbelievable. Dameon Pierce just fumbled it twice. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are taken over in great field position. 2nd and 10 from the edge of field goal range. Trevor Lawrence gets it away. 1st down, and that's Harmon again. Moving the chains down to the 23 now. 1st and 10. Trevor Lawrence has some time. He has to evade the pocket now and is taken down. Jabari Zuniga, the backup edge rusher, after Davenport's injury, because coming into the game and having a sack here. That leads to a field goal by the Jaguars. And so it's a 1-point game as Brevin Jordan has a contested catch here in traffic. And Texans are now 2 minutes away from the end of the game, have the football and the destiny in their hands. They can move down the field, take the field goal, and win the game. 1st and 10. Brandon Cooks to the marker. 1st down. Moving the chains again, 11 yards. They go no huddle. 2nd and 10 now. Davis Mills throws it on the corner route. It's AJ Lincoln, and he gets out of bounds and stiff arms the defender out the way. Beautifully done. first down. Second down now for Davis Mills. On the in route, Brandon Cooks hauls it in, has the first down. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are starting to take timeouts now. So 1st and 10, close bunch to the right for Mills, and he throws it into the end zone, and it is intercepted by the Jaguars. And that is horrible timing. How are you throwing that as a bullet? Like, that was a horrible decision. That if you put a little bit more air under it, AJ Lincoln is gonna have it at the back pylon, and it's a go-ahead touchdown easily. But instead, the Jacksonville Jaguars are gonna run out the time, or as much as they can do at least. 15 seconds left for Mills from almost midfield, hauled in by AJ Lincoln. First 9 yards on first down. 2nd and 1, 9 seconds on the clock. Mills, another throw to the outside, but they bring AJ Lincoln down in bounds, and this game is over. Wow, they could have had the field goal. They were in range, but they took down Lincoln inbounds, and that wins the game for the Jaguars. And you know who you have to point the finger to. Like, this loss, so obviously, is on Dameon Pierce. Giving up 2 fumbles, coughing up the football twice. Like, are you kidding me? That is just not acceptable. As Davis Mills had a fine day, just the last throw. Yeah, I didn't see that underneath corner. You put more air under it and it's fine. But I didn't, and that's why it got intercepted. And then AJ Lincoln had a really good game. 111, no scores though. Trent Harmon with 100 yards, no touchdowns though. Justin Ross has a great game. James Phillips has a few catches. Brevin Jordan, Brandon Cooks has a touchdown. And then, yeah, once again in this game, pressure was kind of relentless. Like, this is a great edge rush trio there. And then what are you doing, Kenyon Green? This is your guy. You gotta block Chad Muma. He's a freaking linebacker. You gotta block this guy, dude. And then Chris Portillo with an awesome pass rush snap, and he just gets half credit, but that's fine, I guess. And then 3 forced fumbles on the day. Josh Allen, Tyson Campbell, and Jay Tufele. So yeah, this is a really bad day for the offense again. Like, we had a chance to win that game, and in the deciding stages, we have 2 forced fumbles, coughing up the football twice there. Then the pick in the end zone. It just, it just didn't work out at all. But I guess we're still in contention for the number 1 overall pick, so that's not horrible, I guess. And yeah, we obviously are struggling. That is correct. And yeah, offensive line looking really bad once again. It didn't amount in like huge sack numbers, but there was enough pressure for Davis Mills to throw incomplete passes based on his under pressure rating. And then Greg Springs gets a nice upgrade here. But that pass block needs to get better. Like, that's at 72, that's just not enough. He's also allowing a good bit of pressure because, like, he's not great at pass protection, and usually the defensive tackle 1 is lining up over on him. And so if that is somebody like, okay, so this is the Jaguars, it doesn't matter all that much. But if this is, if we're playing the Rams, like, this is where Aaron Donald is gonna line up. If we're playing the Green Bay Packers, this is where Kenny Clark is gonna line up. Or, well, not the Packers, maybe because they are 3-4, but. Moving on, this is the Jets, and they are quarterbacked by Zach Wilson. They have signed Damian Harris. Looks like a solid power back. And they also obviously have Breece Hall. They have Elijah Moore as their top receiver. Sadly, Garrett Wilson is injured. But their number 2 now is Corey Davis. Really solid guy, knows how to run some routes, has solid speed, catches everything basically, and their offensive line looks pretty good, I guess. They have Quincy Branch, developmental tackle, who is like a rookie tackle who looks pretty good, like, or at least his upside looks really good, and the rest of the line looks pretty solid. Nothing new. They have Quinnen Williams, and that's something that I'm worried about because he is going to line up over Greg Springs. That is probably going to be a huge issue. They also have Tyrese Burton, a rookie defensive tackle whom they drafted in the last draft, looking really good. Their edge rushers, John Franklin Myers, and I think Shaq Lawson is still there. The linebacker situation, nothing special. Corner situation also... Like, they got Sauce Gardner, they got DJ Reed, and they got Bryce Hall. That's their top 3 corners. That's okay. They have a good corner trio there. And, yeah. I'm kind of afraid to throw up the one-on-ones against Sauce Gardner because, like, he is really sticky. And the safety duo looks like nothing special at all. They have Ashton Davis. Not sure who the second safety is there right now. Maybe it's Whitehead. I'm not sure. But we are going to go into this game now. And we're going to start off with the Jets offense. As Wilson is having a solid season. Davis Mills is having also a pretty solid season, I guess. The Jets... If you want to beat them, I think the way to do it is, again, this receiving core looks solid, but there is no alpha receiver. I think you can lock down this receiving core, especially without Garrett Wilson, their best route runner. I think you can lock them down and then hope for the coverage sacks. That was also kind of the strategy against the Jags, but it didn't work out at all. Like, we had 2 sacks, and both, like, one was a coverage sack and the other one was a linebacker winning straight up one-on-one against a guard. So there was no, like, high quality sacks at all. And if you can't even get like 5 coverage sacks, or like at least 3, I'm not sure how you're gonna win that game. And they start off the game with throw to Corey Davis, get the first down, easy pitch and catch. 1st and 10 now, motion for a tight end. They hand it off to, hang on, that's Damian Harris, and that's gonna be a first down. And there is an injury on that play, and that is bad news. Marcus Davenport, who is, yeah, that top edge rusher, and he already missed most of last game because he got booted out of because of an injury. And there is a 4th down now, so they are going for it. At the edge of field goal range, Zach Wilson gets it away, and it is broken up by Derek Stingley. Beautifully done. That is what I'm talking about. Now you're still at 0-0, and you can get on with your offense. Even have like good field position. You don't have to start from like the 25. It's more like the I think it was like the 30-yard line. Get a few extra yards there. And they are going to start off with a 11 personnel set and a beautifully thrown corner route to AJ Lincoln, getting 24 yards. Moving the chains close to field goal range now. Mills hands it off to Pierce, and he runs it up the right side of the line. That's 14 yards. And they are going to get the first down on that one too. Houston. They are going to hand it. No, this is a bubble screen. And this is for AJ Lincoln. And that is another first down. 11 yards. They're feeding the ball a lot to these receivers. 3rd and 13. Mills sacked. Going down on 3rd down. That's a 4th down and going to result in a field goal try. And this is what I'm talking about. It's Quinnen Williams. And that was just way too easy. He just knocked Greg Springs down to the ground. Like, I don't know if you saw that on the right side, but he was just getting run over by Quinnen Williams. 2nd and 10. Handoff. Harris! Nobody's catching him. Cashman missed his assignment in run defense, and that's a huge first down. Into field goal range. Now 3rd and 2, and Zach Wilson gets it away against the pressure. Exactly through it where the blitz came from. First down, Jets. 3rd and 5 for Zach Wilson. Pocket is clean till now, and he's just gonna run it. No, he's sacked. That's a 4-yard loss. Ross Blacklock, the first guy there. 2nd and 4 now after the field goal for the Jets, tying up the game. And Brevin Jordan has 12 yards. Continuing this drive here. 1st and 10. Mills gets it away. That was under pressure. And Brandon Cooks scrapes it off the ground. And turns upfield, gets a first down. But then 2 negative runs. And Mills hits during the throwing motion. 4th down. That's, yeah. It can go as fast as that. 1st and 10 now for Breece Hall. And he runs it up the middle with great determination. 14 yards, gets the first down. 2nd and 5, 2 tight ends to the right. And they are going to have a play action boot. And wide open, it is the tight end, and he's running down the field. Can you catch him before he's into the end zone? No, they cannot. Touchdown Jets. It's Jeremy Ruckert. And who missed his assignment again? It was Blake Cashman. First of all, he didn't cover him very well. And then he missed the tackle. Like, this is the stuff you gotta get done. And this is a huge touchdown for the Jets, moving them to 10 and 3. 1st and 10, and Mills can't get it away in time. Here is that elongated release, that the throwing motion again for Davis Mills, and it costs him a sack again. He gets it away on the next play though, on 3rd and 10, and that is a first down to Brevin Jordan. And they're going to move the sticks. First down from the, no, that's actually a 3rd down and 13, and hit again. The Texans are kind of unable to run the football here. That was again 2 runs on 1st and 2nd down, and again it resulted in a 3rd and 13. Last time I think they converted, but this time they can't. Punting the football back to the Jets, and they're going to move the sticks immediately. 2nd and 4 now. Play action shot for Zach Wilson, and on the crosser it's Corey Davis having another catch. So something that I can see right now happening is that Derek Stingley is shutting his side down, but Alex Day is really struggling with his side because Corey Davis is open all day. And I guess, so like, I get that there is lots of zone coverage and Davis is just over the middle and we don't have the linebackers to appropriately cover that. As, by the way, Marcus Davenport got injured and has a torn labrum. So that's really bad news. But Corey Davis is open all day, and he's coming from the right side. And the right side is Alex Days. Although, I guess on this play, he was the one making the tackle. We're inside the 2-minute warning now, so the Jets had to add a field goal. And there is a fumble, and the Jets are going to fall on it and are going to take it away. And this is very bad. Like, you just gave them 3 points 1 minute away from halftime and probably can't respond on your own. Davis Mills again hit during the throwing motion. Clean strip sack. Wow. Davis Mills is having a tough time here. And on 3rd and inches, they throw it up, but Derek Stingley breaks it up, and that's going to result in another field goal. So 16-3, and Mills going down again. This time he holds on, but this is going to result in the 2nd and 18. And now they are pressing the receivers at the line. Mills, nothing open, and just as Gary Gordon was opening up on the corner route and running away from his cover guy, Mills got sacked again, and they're just going to run at the clock there. Texans offense can't do anything in this game. yeah, it's absolutely awful. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Move on to the next one. The Colts are trying to win the division. And since the Titans and the Jaguars won last game and the Colts lost, it's still not over. Both the Jaguars and the Titans are at 8-7. And the Colts are at 10-5. And there's 2 games left. And right now the Titans are leading. So there is still a chance for all 3 teams to win the division. Not for the Texans though. Although this is a pretty sweet run. 15 yards to the left side. Now the fullback into the game here on the right side. Mills gonna throw it on the post. And that is open. That is Justin Ross moving the sticks. Getting the first down in the process. And trying to win this game, you gotta put 7 on the board here. Mills, post, caught. Ross runs away from defenders, down to the 2-yard line. It's a 30-yard connection. And they get it done inside the 5 now. Can you punch this one in? It's just 2 yards, and you have 3 downs to do it. 2nd and goal. Mills, pressure coming in, gets it away. Touchdown, Justin Ross. And the Texans have a touchdown here, closing the gap a little bit. It's a 1-score game now. 6-point game. 2nd and 6. Wilson gets it to Corey Davis. First down. 3rd and 9 now. Wilson has some time. You need to make a decision, dude. And he throws it to the sideline, and it's caught by Jeremy Ruckert. First down, Jets. 3rd and 8. And Wilson is sacked. That is a really bad sack because that takes him out of field goal range. So great play there by Jabari Zuniga, who was the first guy there. 2nd and 11 after they punt the football back, and Brandon Cooks breaks a tackle. 15 yards, moving the chains. This is how you do it. You need to just slowly work your way down the field. Against this defensive line, there is just no hope that you're having any deep ball connections as Brandon Cooks is loose in the secondary, and that's a touchdown. And just as I was saying, usually that doesn't work. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I want to do with Cooks, but usually I don't have the time in the pocket. This time, though, Cooks was really quick to run behind his coverage defender and then just ran away. This is the kind of stuff I want to be doing with Brandon Cooks, and I can't usually because the line is too bad. Intercepted! It's Derek Stingley! Just took the lead, and on the very next play, Zach Wilson throws a boneheaded interception. Derek Stingley takes the football away. That was intended for Elijah Moore. And by the way, Elijah Moore is the receiver on the left side of the field, and Derek Stingley has been closing him down for the entirety of this game. Now Dameon Pierce with a nice piece of rushing there. I think like 13 yards or something. 1st and 10. The receiver's jammed. Mills. Oh, man. Brandon Cooks got behind the defense again. If he had a 1/10 of a second more time, he could have thrown that down the field. But it's a sack, and that's 2nd and 17. Mills on the post. It's Justin Ross, and that's a first down, 22 yards at least. So they are going to move the sticks, but they had a free touchdown on that last play if the line would have held a little bit longer. 3rd and 8. Mills has a man, and he overthrows him. Brandon Cooks would have gotten it, but that's going to be a field goal for the Texans, so it's now a 4-point game. At the sideline, incomplete 4th down. They punt it back, 3 and out for the Jets. Mills sacked again. It's Jermaine Johnson into the backfield. And that was just like, what are you doing, Rasheed Walker? Both tackles gave this sack up in absolutely no time at all. They just ran around the tackles. 1st and 10. Wilson after the punt, and this is the first completion to Elijah Moore all game, I think. Derek Stingley has been locking him down, and he was close enough to at least make the tackle on this play. 2nd and 6. Wilson, And this is a throw to Corey Davis. Coming in from the right side. Touchdown Jets. And now, this is a 3-point game. We're 4 minutes away from the end of the game. You need to get a field goal to at least tie things up if you're the Texans here. Great play. That was, I think, a zone blitz again for the Texans. And Corey Davis just was right there where the blitz came from. Nico Collins got a first down, gets 11 yards, moves the chains. 1st and 10. Play action shot for Mills. Pressure coming in again, and this is caught by Ross. What a throw and catch. Like, that throw got impacted by the linebacker, but at least he got it away this time, and Ross had a chance to catch it. 1st and 10. This is Brevin Jordan on the out route, or the corner route rather. And that's a first down at the sideline. And they're moving the chains pretty quickly, which is almost bad because, like, if you're scoring too quickly, this is going to result in the Jets having another drive, and this is exactly what happens. 3rd down, they have an incompletion, and it's going to be a drive for the Jets now while the game is tied. 2nd and 10. Zach Wilson to the outside. And this is Breece Hall, and nobody's home. Blake Cashman missed his run D assignment once again. And that is a touchdown for the Jets. It's 30-23 now. And Breece Hall just might have ended this game. 49 seconds left for Mills to go down the field, and he's sacked again. Kenyon Green giving up another sack. 3rd and 14. Davis, Mills. Can you move the chains here? Pressure coming in again. And at the sideline, it is AJ Lincoln, and he even got out of bounds. 2 timeouts still left. 30 seconds on the clock for Mills. Yeah. This is another sack. Davis Mills did not have enough time to throw that out route. 3rd and 21. Bad sack. And Mills pressured again. Sacked. 4th and 25. And this is basically the game. Davis Mills throws it off his back foot like a fadeaway, and it is caught by Justin Ross at the sideline, but there is no timeouts left for Houston, and the time runs out. You just converted a 4th and 25, but the time runs out on you. Oh man, like, those sacks were horrible, and you had to take the timeouts, because if you hadn't, the game would have ran out before that. So you did not have any chance to win that one at the end there. You should have won it before that. And then, well, that Breece Hall touchdown just was ridiculous. Perfect rushing lane. Blake Cashman missing his run assignment again. Yeah, pretty disappointing. Breece Hall had one big touchdown run. We contained the running game as well as we could. I think that Damian Harris was kind of unstoppable, but as soon as Breece Hall got onto the field, we were able to stop him. And then, well, Corey Davis, like, you cannot allow that many catches to him. And he even dropped a couple. So, well, that didn't go our way. Brandon Cooks had a nice deep touchdown, though. I would love to do more stuff like this with him, but we just don't have the time in the pocket to do that, usually. So, dump it off, throw it underneath on a crosser or something, a slant. An out route. QB sacks. Well, that is way too many. I think that's like, I counted it earlier, and I think it was like 9 sacks in total. Like, this is awful. The Jets D-line is stacked, though. You gotta give them that. Like, the Jets D-line is really stacked. But that is way too many sacks. Derek Stingley with a great pick. That was just like a lockdown game from him. We should have won this one just because he was such a lockdown kid. Jermaine Johnson with one forced fumble. Justin Ross gets an upgrade. +2 release. You always want to see that. That's awesome. Getting some deep route running here as well is pretty good. He's now at 87 release. His route runnings are really getting there. He's now at 84 across the board with +1 morale boost on deep. So that looks pretty solid, but we have an injury coming out of this game. And this is pretty bad news because we already lost Laramie Tunsil for the rest of the season, and now it's Marcus Davenport. He's done for the season as well. And I tried to do the same thing that I did with Tunsil, put him on IR and steal somebody else from the practice squad. But as it turns out, for Marcus Davenport, I'm still gonna put him on IR, but there is just nobody that's really all that interesting on other people's practice squads. But there is a guy that I like from our practice squad who I am going to promote now. And it's Russell Flanagan, who is a rookie edge rusher who has a good first step and 71 finesse moves. So there is something to work with there. And he's going to be on the field now a little bit, probably just still a backup because we still have Jabari Zuniga on the other, on the right side there. Gonna replace Marcus Davenport, but Flanagan looks kind of promising, and then I just replaced him with somebody on the practice squad. Laramie Tunsil, that's a nice upgrade, +2 run block, getting it up there a little bit better. His run blocking has always been his weakness. He's a elite level pass protector, but not a great run blocker. And then we have an upgrade for Jamie Cantu. And he has a really nice one here. Some zone and man coverage. And we are not going to know his development until the end of the season. There's just not enough snaps left. And he's not a 3-down linebacker. So yeah, his zone coverage is getting up there now. It's at 63. That is better than before. And I think that in a year or two, he's going to be a really solid linebacker. Next game is going to be against the Bengals, a high-scoring offense. But they also have a pretty fierce defense with that edge rusher, and specifically Trey Hendrickson. That is kind of dangerous. I also got Sam Hubbard and a couple other guys. And the interior looks really solid there with DJ Reader, and I forget the other guy's name. But I'm pretty sure we're not going to beat them because this is the best team in the league. And they are 13-3. They are the #1 in the AFC right now. This is the team to beat. There is some good news, though. Well, I mean, I guess we just get this scenario out of the way now, and if we beat them, we get a significant boost. So I guess this is like the scenario where you're getting like 1,000 XP for the entire team or something. But there is good news because we have a breakout chance in this game. And it is for Chris Portillo, our middle linebacker. I think it was a 3rd round pick, or did I draft him in the 2nd round? Like a mid-round pick, a day 2 pick. And we have to get him 1 INT, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 TFL. Or we have to hold the Bengals to 250, but that is not going to happen at all. Like, I can guarantee you that. Joe Burrow is just way too good. And he has some great accuracies there. Joe Mixon is their running back, looking really sharp. Awesome guy who has like strength in like every department of being a running back. It's not just like he's not just a power back. He's a power back, but he's not just a power back. And he also can break some tackles or evade some tackles with being just elusive. And for receivers, they have Jamar Chase. They have Tyler Boyd. But here's another good news, because T. Higgins is out this week. It's just a 1-week injury now, and he's going to be back for the playoffs, but he's out. So Nazir Pearman, a 1st round receiver they drafted, and he is going to take his place. He is a really good receiver with a lot of upside and hidden dev. Then for the line, they still have the same line as they do in real life, pretty solid. And then for the defense, they have Trey Hendrickson, they have DJ Reader in the middle there. BJ Hill is the other guy, I just remembered his name. They have Sam Hubbard, a couple other edge rushers. The linebacking situation looks pretty solid too. Logan Wilson, Akeem Davis-Gaither. So yeah, that front seven looks pretty fierce. But also the secondary doesn't look too bad. Chidobe Awuzie with, yeah, he's just a really good corner in this league. He is very good at zone, not good at press, so he's like a pure zone corner. And then in the back end, they have Jesse Bates with his good range, great zone coverage, also pretty good hit power. But the way to beat this Bengals team is there is no way. There is no way the Texans beat this team. Just because the Bengals have no weaknesses at all. Like every part of their team looks pretty solid. If there is a way, then it's gonna be something like, okay, the Bengals have to get lost somehow, throw picks, fumble the football away or something like that. This is the only way to win the game for the Texans, because they're not going to beat this offensive line. If they couldn't beat the Jets line and they couldn't beat the Jags line, yeah, they're not going to beat the Bengals line. And for the defense, the Bengals defense is better than the Jets and the Jags combined. So I'm not sure how to beat this team. But I think the only weakness maybe of the Bengals that, like, their number 2 corner, if you can beat that guy consistently over the course of the game, maybe you have a shot. But I don't think there is really a chance. 2nd and 5. Mills gets it away over the middle. Brandon Cooks complete. First down, 11 yards. Mills hands it off to Pierce. And there's a fumble, and Mills falls on the football. Dameon Pierce, what are you doing, man? Like, seriously, can you please get it together? And we also lose Eric McCoy to injury, and he's walking into the locker room, which is not a great look. 2nd and 12. Mills gets it away. This is AJ Lincoln breaking a tackle, breaking 2 tackles, and running down the field, and that is a huge first down. That's 31 yards to AJ Lincoln. And they move the chains in absolutely no time. Now they are in field goal range. Can you finish off this drive, or are you gonna have to settle for a field goal again? Breaking 1 tackle, and the corner just missed, I guess. I think that's William Jackson. 3rd and 6. Mills gets it away into the end zone. Touchdown, Texans! And this is a beautiful drive, I guess. Although the Pierce fumble was kind of ridiculous again. Like, I don't understand what his problem is, but well. Brandon Cooks into the end zone, wide open. I actually kind of can't believe that this did actually work, because this is usually the stuff that I get sacked on with Brandon Cooks there. But he was open on the corner route and wide open at that. The Bengals are going to take the field now, and Joe Burrow has a chance to tie up this game. 2 tight ends to the left. Joe Mixon's to his left as well. And Joe Burrow throws it off his back foot. Down the field, there is Jamar Chase, and it is intercepted. It's Alex Day, and he's going to return it 2, and he is going to fight ahead, falling forward in the process, moving the Texans right back into field goal range. Wow, 1-on-1 with Jamar Chase, and Alex Day is coming out as the winner. I actually can't believe that really happened here. Tipped the ball to himself, and then ran it back as far as he could, even breaking a tackle there. Or at least like falling through one, getting 5 extra yards. But yeah, as you can see, the Bengals are the 1 seed. Like, they are already done with this regular season. And this is really surprising. But I guess you gotta throw the 1-on-1 to Jamar Chase, right? Give him a chance. 3rd and 3, Brandon Cooks, first down, 9 yards. They're gonna move the chains again. 1st and 10. They have trips to the right. Pierce gonna run it up the right side, and that is going to be a first down, 11 yards. And I think it's a pretty generous spot, to be honest. 3rd and goal. Davis Mills. Can you get this one done? And Greg Springs is on the ground again. That is almost a sack. He got it away, but way too late. DJ Reader just completely beat down Greg Springs. 1st and 10. And Joe Burrow lost the football. This is a fumble recovery touchdown, and it is 17-0. What are you doing, Joe Burrow? Are you serious? Chris Portillo just had a free run at the quarterback. What is the center doing? And that is also the breakout completed already in the first quarter. 3rd and 4. Joe Burrow, 3-score game, gets it away. Tyler Boyd, 1st down on the midfield logo, moving into Texans territory. Burrow having a double twins, and he throws it to the outside. It's caught. Alex Day right there, but Sample hangs on. 2nd and 10. Joe Burrow has some time, has more time. Throws it away, and that is a dump off to the sideline and a 1st down to Tyler Boyd. 2nd and 7. 11 personnel handed off to Evans. And there is another fumble! And who is going to recover this one? It's the Texans! And they are having the football again. Bengals still at 0 points. 1st and 10. Mills. And he's going to throw this one down the field. Justin Ross, double coverage, and he hauls it in. 1st down, Texans, 45 yards down the field. What is happening to this Bengals team? That is already 3 turnovers. 2 of them resulting in touchdowns. Actually, only 1 of them resulting in touchdowns. The other one was a field goal. And the 3rd one just happened here, and we hope it's going to lead somewhere else. 1st and 10. They hand it off to Dameon Pierce to the right side, and that is a 1st down run of 10 yards. Continuing to move the chains here. 17-0 still the score. 3rd and 4. Can you move the chains to start the 2nd quarter? Mills gets it away, and it is somehow incomplete. Mills overthrows his target. Field goal taken by the Texans. 20-0 now. Burrow almost sacked again. Throws another interception. It's Desmond King. And there is another turnovers. What are you doing? The Bengals just gifting the football all over the place. And well, if you're the Texans, now you need to capitalize, right? This needs to be a touchdown, man. Desmond King wide, like, how do you throw that? Like, he was in front of the receiver the whole time. It wasn't even that he, like, lurked and jumped. He was just right there, and he just threw it right to him. Mills gets it away. Ross gets the angle to the outside. Stiff arms a defender out the way, and that's 24 yards. Texans playing on fire right now. Moving the chains. We're into the 2nd quarter by now. 3rd and 4. Davis Mills has a man in the end zone. Touchdown, AJ Lincoln. And this is now a 27-0 lead. Just to start the 2nd quarter. Like, if you're going to continue this rate of turnovers, you're going to end up at like 15 turnovers and a 100-point game. Like, what are you doing, man? Joe Burrow has another chance. Can they finally move the sticks? They're just going to hand it off to the fullback now, I guess. That's Kari Blasingame. 3rd and 7. Burrow throws it to the sideline. Blasingame taken down by Murray. It's a 4th down. You already have to consider to go for it here, right? Because, like, if you don't, oh man, they are going to take the field goal. 61-yard field goal try. And it is no good. Off the upright. It had the length. And now this is a really short field for Davis Mills. Throws it up. Wide open behind the defense. It's Justin Ross. And that is a 38-yard connection. Texans down in the red zone. Already having a 4-score lead. I didn't think I'd ever have to say that. What are you doing, man? Completely whiffed on the press. This is exactly what I said earlier. Like, this is the one chance to beat this defense. beat up the number 2 corner. Because, like, actually, I think that's actually the number 1 corner, I guess. Chidobe Awuzie, I think, is the number 1. But, like, you need to beat up these corners. And if you can't do that, well, that didn't end up too well. That's a holding. And then a 3rd and 15 that was an incomplete pass. So that didn't end up too well. But it still is a 30-0 lead. Jamar Chase with a nice catch there against Derek Stingley. And then on the other side, it's Pearman with a nice catch against Alex Day. So they're just doing the same thing we're doing, beating up the corners. 1st and 10, Joe Burrow has a clean pocket, gets it away. Pearman breaks a tackle. Eric Murray whiffs 14 yards. And now they're down to the goal line. Handoff. Joe Mixon, nowhere to go. And this is Levi Wiggins. Actually, James Wiggins. I don't know how I got to Levi. James Wiggins, the backup safety. 3rd and goal. Joe Burrow. He is throwing this one away. Nobody open, and they finally put 3 points on the board. But it's a 27-point game, and no longer. This is Brandon Cooks behind the defense, and this is beating up the number 2 corner. Touchdown, Texans. It's Brandon Cooks with a huge touchdown. What are you doing, man? Like, Brandon Cooks does not have the best release rating, and he just ran right by him. He didn't even do like a proper release. Sullivan just missed. Well, this is unbelievable. It's a 34-point lead at halftime. I can't believe that that really actually happened. The Bengals are kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They already have 4 turnovers and a missed field goal. So 5 turnovers, essentially giving them short fields. Like, are you kidding me? 5 turnovers in 1 half? Like, every team would put up 30 points on the board. Even a college team would put up 30 points on the board there. Like, really? What are you doing, man? Well, Lions are leading at halftime. They are one of 3 teams that are at 3-13. One of 3 teams that has a chance at the number 1 overall pick, and they are leading, just like the Texans. So maybe we're just giving it to the Seahawks then, I guess. 1st and 10. Joe Burrow off his back foot, and this is caught at the sideline. Jamar Chase beat out Derek Stingley. This is going to be a receiver corner one-on-one that we're going to see a lot if the Texans ever get to the playoffs, I think. Because, like, this is one of the best receivers in the game against one of the best corners. Burrow throws it to the outside. This is Holloman, a backup tackle playing tight end here. And he's got the first down. And they're moving the chains. Mixon up the middle still. And he is redirecting into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Finally getting into the end zone. First touchdown for the Bengals in this game. 27-point lead for Davis Mills. 3rd and 8. Wide open. Justin Ross. But oh no, he didn't turn around to get the first down. It's 4th down. Logan Wilson with the tackle. That is going to be a punt back to the Bengals. And the handoff to Mixon. Redirecting to the left. And getting 13 yards in the process. First down inside Texans territory now. Burrow having a clean pocket, gets it away. 1-on-1 in the end zone. And it is caught by Pearman. Touchdown Bengals. And now Derek Stingley is getting kind of beat up. That's another huge completion he allowed. 20-point game now. Mills getting it away. No, he doesn't. Wide open down the field. That would have been a huge completion. But Hendrickson chases him down. Mills does not have the speed to run away on bootlegs. 2nd and 20. Mills gets it away. Wide open. Justin Ross. And that is a first down. So they get the first down after the sack. Did not end the drive there. And DJ Reader is injured. So they just lost one of their best defensive players moving into the locker room. But I don't think the injury is too bad. 2nd and inches. Mills gets it away. Justin Ross down the field. Touchdown Texans. And they are now at a 40-plus game. 44-17. This is a 4-touchdown game right now. But as we've learned from the from the Patriots in the Super Bowl, 4 touchdowns is nothing to it's not enough to just put out the backups there and hope it's gonna be fine. Jamar Chase with a huge completion, 21 yards. Now 3 tight ends to the right, and they are gonna throw it. Burrow, one-on-one, and this is somehow mossing Derek Stingley. He had a chance to pick it off, and Jamar Chase just somehow took it away. I can't believe it. First down, Bengals into Texans territory now, and that is at the edge of field goal range. So they are starting to get into a groove here and are moving the sticks on a consistent basis. Burrow throws absolutely nowhere. He's getting sacked. 3rd and 17 from the 44 now. That's going to be tough for Burrow. 4-man pressure, and it needs to get there. He gets it away. It's a one-on-one, and this is an interception, but it's out of bounds. He almost had the exact same interception again. Alex Dayman. And this is right down the middle and good. Long field goal, but they got it through. Dameon Pierce to the left side. Breaking tackles left and right. First down. 15 yards. Dameon Pierce moving the sticks. To end the third quarter here. One last play. Davis Mills throws it on the corner route. It's AJ Lincoln. And he runs it down the sideline. And he's taken down with 43-yard gain. Nice play by AJ Lincoln, the front runner for Rookie of the Year in the AFC. 1st and 10, handoff. This is the play action shot, and Mills needs to get it away. He resets. He lost the football, and the Bengals take over, and they're gonna run it back. And this is going all the way. 10-5 touchdown. It's Hicks on the recovery. The linebacker they signed out of Arizona last offseason. They're going for the 2-point try, and they are going to get it. So now it's a 16-point game. They make this a 2-touchdown game now. Kari Blasingame with another great play there. 3rd and 5. Mills. Everything's covered up, and he's just gonna throw it, and that's gonna be bad. That's another punt, giving it back to the Bengals. And we're 8 minutes out, and it's a 2-score game. Joe Burrow, from his own goal line, has way too much time, resetting a million times. You can't cover anybody forever. What are you doing, man? Where is the pass rush, man? And this is what happens if you lose your best edge rusher. 2nd and 6. Joe Burrow, wide open in between the zones. It's Jamar Chase. First down. And Burrow is closing in on 400 passing yards now. Chase is at 135. Can they punch it in? From the red zone now. Joe Burrow, 4-man pressure. Gets it away. Chase, another first down. And that is 13 yards. Now 2nd and goal from the 10. Motion. They hand it off to Mixon. He breaks a tackle. Breaks another one. Breaks another one. Fights into the end zone. Are you kidding me? He just broke 4 tackles. Are you kidding me? How do you allow that touchdown to happen? Like, are you serious right now? He broke 4 tackles. That is ridiculous. Unbelievable stuff there by Joe Mixon. And they are gonna go for 2 once again to make this an 8-point game. Burrow complete to the tight end / left tackle Holloman. And it is an 8-point game with 4 minutes left. And now the Texans need to score something to end this game as Pierce runs it up the middle. And that's a 10-yard gain, first down. 5 yards a carry, by the way, for Pierce. 2nd and 9. Mills hands it off. Nowhere to go. Johnson losing even more yardage. Oh, man. He gets 1 carry and he has no rushing lane at all. Oh, that was awful. That results in a 3rd and 14. He just lost like 5 yards on that play. Ty Johnson, that poor kid. Got absolutely run over by the entire Bengals defense. 3rd and 14 now. Mills has lots of time and is sacked. That was actually not lots of time. I thought he had lots of time because the pocket looked pretty solid, but then Rashid Walker just gave it up. So that's going to be a punt, and Kerry Blasingame almost was gone. Jesus, 1:35 on the clock, and 3 timeouts left for Joe Burrow. Gets it away. Jamar Chase up the middle. First down, 12 yards. 2nd and 4. Joe Burrow from the 11, and he has a wide open man, and it is Blasingame, and that's a touchdown for the Bengals, and they are 2 points away from tying up this game. Are you kidding me? This was once a 34-point lead. That is a 5-touchdown lead. 2-point try, motion for Blasingame. Joe Burrow. It's slant, and it's caught by Jamar Chase. Who else? Game tied at 44 points. 1st and 10. Mills press on the outside, and he's sacked again as he wanted to throw it to Brendan Cooks there, I think. 2nd and 17. 10 seconds left in the game. He throws it to the outside, and that is AJ Lincoln at the sideline. 1st down. At least the drive continues. You need to get to the 41. So that's still about 20 yards. 1st and 10, and that's just going to be a Hail Mary now. And they are going to throw it up. And this is an interception for the Bengals. And that is Mike Hilton, I think. And he's outrunning a tackle down toward the goal line. He's down the sideline. Can somebody stop him? And at last he stopped with the clock hitting 000 a long time ago. Dameon Pierce just stopped this game from ending. We're going to overtime at least. Like, we almost lost the game in regulation. Are you kidding me? What is happening in this game? Burrow wins the coin toss, and they are going to receive. And now you have to stop them. They couldn't stop Burrow all of 2nd half. I think they didn't force one punt in the 2nd half. And now Joe Burrow needs to be stopped here. Right here. And this is caught by Holloman. Jamie Cantu went for the pick. Came up empty. Could have ended the game right here. Like, if he had picked that off right here, 1 first down, and you're in field goal range, get the field goal in the game. Kerry Blasingame is in the open. Nobody stops him. He is into the end zone. Touchdown Bengals, and the game is over. Are you kidding me? The Bengals win 50-44. What is happening? Perfect run there at the end. Perfect execution. Run defense once again was not there at all. But like, seriously, what happened? What are you doing? You just gave up a 34-point game. I still can't believe this happened. Like, what? How does this happen? Joe Burrow threw for 516 yards, had an 81% completion percentage. Like, after the first quarter, he got it together. Rather, the first half. We were able to run it a little bit, but when we needed the most, we couldn't run it anymore. Somehow, they just stopped Dameon Pierce on every single try, and then that one down where I gave Ty Johnson the football, and he just got pile driven back by the entire Bengals defense. That was kind of ridiculous. 4 receivers over 100 yards in this game. 3 of them Texans. Pearman, a really great game. 96 yards and a touchdown. Blasingame had a great game. Receiving as well. 70 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Boyd had 61. Joe Mixon had 40. Jamie Holloman had 34 yards, the left tackle. Well, this is how you wind up with top 2 pick, I guess. I still can't believe that happened, man. That is even more unbelievable than me missing out on Rashard Winters. Oh my god. Like, that was awful. But, like, okay, so the second half was ridiculous. The amount of sacks Davis Mills was taking in the second half was absolutely mind-boggling. And Mike Hilton with the interception there on that Hail Mary attempt. I thought he was gonna score. I thought they were gonna end this game in regulation. Like the clock hit 000 a long time ago, and then somehow Damian Pierce came out of the middle of nowhere. And yeah, that forced fumble return by Jordan Hicks was very key though. Like that was getting them back in the game. And I have to show you, like, okay, so the first quarter went 37-3 for the Texans, and the fourth quarter went 41-7 for the Bengals. Like, how, like, these two halves of football we just saw were so completely and utterly different that you could, like, you have to think this is two different games, right? Like, in the first half, the Texans were dominating. Like, we had everything going for us. We had 4 turnovers plus the missed field goal forced on that long try. And in the second half, we didn't have any turnover, and they still managed to kick a 61-yarder. Burrow, I don't think they punted it once in the second half. And this is a problem. Like, you can't allow 40-plus points in one half. Like, the Bengals should have not done that in the first half either, but like we didn't even like allow 40 points just by throwing 3 pick sixes or something. We allowed 41 points by just letting them score on every drive, and they had 1 fumble recovery touchdown. That is everything. Like, they had 1 fumble recovery touchdown, but they still scored 34 points just by being a good offense. And that is actually why I thought we had no shot at winning this game. And after they got it together, after they got the 5 turnovers out of their system, they were absolutely perfect. I couldn't do anything about it. Like, I played every kind of coverage there is. Like, I played zone blitzes, I played man blitzes. I even had a couple zero blitzes in there. It just, like, nothing did anything. It just didn't help. And at least we got dev upgrade for Chris Portillo, which is awesome. But even more awesome is that he gets 20,000 XP. And at his age, that is actually 4 upgrades. So, well, 4 upgrades, and we're gonna pour them all into Field General because this is what he's gonna be. And we are gonna put 1 in. We're gonna put the 2nd in, and the 3rd, and the 4th. And I hope he gets something out of it. First one was pretty good, a lot of up ratings. Second one, oh, so that's actually pretty good too. Like, +2 zone coverage, that's pretty solid. Third one, let's go. This is actually solid too, because the agility rating is gonna help him turn around quicker. And that is actually gonna help his run defense and his coverage. So that's pretty solid. And then one more we have here. That is the weakest one by far. But he is now a 21-year-old, 78 overall, star dev linebacker with 90 speed and 76 zone coverage. Yeah. He's going to be good. He is going to be very good. That XP boost helped him a lot. The Texans now have, if we don't have the number 1 pick, we're going to have the number 2. But according to this chart, we should have the number 1 pick in this next draft. And I am so excited because we also have 2 more top 20 selections. Depending on... Now, actually, I think both teams missed the playoffs. So I think it's two more top 20 selections. One at like 10 and one at like 18 or something. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more Texans franchise. See you in the next episode. Until then, spread some love.